Hi guys, what? How should I greet you? It's 4 minutes to 3 o'clock. It's later than my last video shoot. All right, this mood reminds me of my days when I was still a student. All right, um, I always made sure that I finished everything before going to bed. All right, so no matter how light, I really have to finish everything before going to bed. I had to make sure that I read all the necessary advanced lessons that I had to uh, do, so that the day before the class started, I would be really ready for the class. And also, I also made sure that I did everything the night before uh, I had my class. Okay, so that's why I think, if I may remember, there wasn't a weekday uh, that I slept early. I guess I always went to bed late. I always pulled an all-nighter because I always had to make sure that I finished everything. That was how studious I was when I was a student art. So probably the reason why, I reached this point in time. Okay, anyway, I said a lot of things. Anyway, our lesson for today is about the S ending pronunciation. All right. Okay, so I'd like you to know that, like I said, I already mentioned actually, there's in learning English as a second language, there is really a need for some memorization. All right, so in order to help you with memorization, from time to time, I may insert something that might help you remember the lessons. All right, but the the very hint or cue actually, in order to really remember everything, is that to really understand clearly the rules. All right, okay. This lesson, ESL lesson, is about more unspoken language. All right, so this may help you become, how do I say, or improve your spoken English. All right, uh, after finishing this video, it might help you improve, particularly rather, this sound. Okay, so let's get going. Are you ready? Of course you are. So it's really nice. I actually learned this one because my major was Bachelor of Arts in Communication Arts back then, and one of the things I learned is about cinematography. I'm just applying what I have learned. Okay, I see the shadow here, but there it's really clear. Okay, can you see? You can see, right? Okay, S ending pronunciation. So these rules are particularly applicable to the S ending words, which means, what are those? One is the regular the plural form of regular nouns. Example: book, books. All right, and then second is the S form of both regular and irregular verbs. And third is all the words that actually end in S. Okay, so you can also apply these rules. All right, brace yourself. It's not really hard, it's easy to remember. Okay, so if you watch the video about voiced and the voiceless sound, all right, this lesson may help you understand better. Okay, so if you haven't watched that video yet, you may as well watch it before watching these particular ESL lesson on S ending pronunciation. So there are basically 3 sounds that you need to remember. Okay, you might think that all the S ending words also all end in S sound. It's not actually like that. There are actually 3 sounds that you have to remember. The first sound, of course, is the S. All right. The second is Z sound, Z sound, and the third, of course, can you still see? Can't see anymore. Okay. The third is the is sound. Is it readable? Okay. So those are the 3 sounds of the S ending words. Okay. Now, when do we use or when do we have the S sound? Okay. When a verb or a noun ends with voiceless, most of the voiceless sounds, like, what are those? P, T, K, F, and lastly, Th. Okay, with those sounds, all right, with those sounds, the S will be S. Okay, so if the word, I'll give you an example of each probably. Okay, so what's the word that ends with a P? See, I can hear the kakalulu. Alright, can you hear that? Okay, so clap, for example, ends with a P sound, so the S that follow is pronounced as S, as is. Alright, so claps. What's the word that ends with T? Sit ends with T, so it will have sits, as is. Alright, what's the word that ends with K? Talk. I'm sorry, L. Talk, then it will be talks. What's the word that ends with an F sound? You have laugh, so you will have laughs. All right, what's the word that ends with the th sound? Can you still read it? Month, so you'll have month. So you see all the words ends with the voiceless sound p, t, k, f, and th. All right, so claps, a sound, sits, talks, laughs, month. All right, so with the voiceless sounds p, t, k, f, and th, don't forget the S that follows should be pronounced as is, S. All right, now when do we have the Z sound at the end? This is when a verb or a noun ends with voiced sounds. All right, all the voiced sounds. All right, so you have, if you watched my video about the voiced and the voiceless sounds, B, D, G, V. The, there's a little cross there. This is another pronunciation of TH. What's next? You have you have you have O, you have R. Okay, so you have again B, D, G, V, the O, R. All voiced sounds. All right, when it's followed by the S, when you have, for example, with a verb form the S form, then it will be a Z sound. Okay, so, and by the way, all the vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, U, okay, all vowel sounds are voiced. Okay, when it's followed by S, then you will have the Z sound of that. Okay, let's give some examples of the voiced ending words. Okay, so let's look for a word that ends with a B. What's the word that ends with a B? Club. Okay, ends with a B. Club. Vibration there. Club. So when you put S, that will be Z sound, not S. So it will be clubs. Okay, gloves. All right, next let's have a word that ends with a D. Okay, you have bed. Okay, so you have beds. Beds. Okay, let's think of a word that ends with a G sound. Dog. So you will have dogs. Dogs. Okay, and so on and so forth. Let's have an example of a word that ends with a vowel sound. Say, all right, play. It ends with the long A sound. A, play. So it will be plays. Okay, so all these words end with a Z sound. Gloves, beds, dogs, plays. Can you see? Sorry, I wasn't looking. Okay, so you have gloves again, beds, dogs, plays. Okay, is it clear? I hope that you know the difference right now. Okay, so let's proceed to which words or which sound requires the is sound. Okay, so I call it the S family because almost these letters or sounds it's around the sound S and the Z. Okay, so or it has the S or a Z sound. That's why I call it the S family. Okay, so the S itself, as when the word or when a verb or a noun ends with S sound, Z sound, all right, Z sound. When the word ends with this symbol, this sound rather, that is SH actually, sh sound. When the word ends with sound, all right. When the word ends with the, do you know this symbol? This is a little bit similar to Z sound, but a little softer and a little bit near the S sound. Okay, so it's like between the S and the Z sound. An example of a word that has this sound is pleasure, for example. Okay, next sound is this one, if you know this symbol. So it's a combination of a T and the sh, so it's T sound. So it's normally CH. Okay, words that ends with a CH. All right, another sound is this one, if you're familiar. So this is similar to this letter, the sound of letter J, J, J. Okay, so these are the sounds that require is pronunciation at the end. Okay, let's give examples. Okay, for example, bus, it ends with an S sound, so it will be buses. All right, buses. Take note, this is not S, it's not buses, no, it's buses. All right, short E sound and then Z sound, not even soft E sound, but it's a short E sound and Z sound, so is. All right, is. All right, buses, not buses, or not buses, no, buses. All right, next let's have a word that ends with, say, sound, of course, box, then it will be boxes. All right, let's have a word that ends with a sound, t, so watch, then it will be watches. Okay, so as you can see, we think that all the S sounds, S ending words actually are pronounced with an S at the end, but no, actually there are only a few. There are actually more Z sound and the is sound. Okay, so if you practice pronouncing the proper S ending sound, then it can help you actually with your spoken language, and you would sound a little bit of a native speaker. Actually, it contributes to your spoken language. All right, language rather. Okay, so I hope everything is clear right now. I hope so. So let's have a recap. Are you ready? Okay, for S, when a verb or a noun rather starts, or sorry, end with p, t, k, f, and th sounds. All right, if the z, if the word or when a verb or a noun ends with b, d, g, v, th, l, r, and all the vowel sounds. All right, A, E, I, O, U, and all the rest of the sounds surrounding all the vowel sounds. All right, and then is, when a verb or a noun ends with S, Z, sh, x, sh, z, ch, z sound. All right, so is it clear? So I hope you learn from these very simple lesson, very simple, but it's usually a neglected one. Okay, but if you get enlightened and if you get familiar with this, it will help a lot with your spoken English. All right, so I know that not all of us are actually aware of this, and to tell the truth, I became aware of this when I started, not even when I started teaching English back in 2000. Don't do the math. All right, I started to become aware of this one actually when I started completing the Practice and Progress book by LG Alexander. So that book actually made me discover the S ending sounds. So I owe so much to that book. I discovered the S ending sounds. So I was thinking, oh, why native speaker speaks this way, and I think this contributed much to that actually. So from then on, when I learned about this, I tried memorizing, not only memorizing but practicing every time I get a chance. So when I read, when I speak, it's always there in my mind, and then I always put it in there that when this word belongs to this group, then it should have the S ending sound, the S sound. And when this word as well belongs to this set, then it should have the Z sound, and then as well as the is sound. So at first it was a little difficult, but when you get used to it, it becomes natural. So and it will be in your system, so there will be like an automaticity, like what Dr. Chu of the University of I forgot which university is Dr. Chu or Professor Chu is teaching. I'm sorry, but I forgot. But he was the one who postulated about the automaticity. All right, so there's a sense of automaticity after a while if you really try hard. Of course, you have to make an effort. All right, so you have to practically apply it, because if you don't, it's really difficult to understand and to make it to be part of your system. It's like anything that you learn, so anything for that matter, if you don't have the practical usage of it, it will not actually sink in. It will not become part of your system. So in order for that to become part of your system, you really have to, how do I say, internalize. So when you get a chance to use it, all right, every time. So when you're reading something, use it, so you'll get used to it. When you're speaking, use it. When there's a chance, go for it. All right, don't hesitate. If you make mistakes, then learn from your mistakes. Okay, so if you forget the lesson now, just keep coming back to my video, and again, this video will be there all the time. Okay. I become very serious anyway. Oh, I like this mood. All right, it reminds me of really my younger days. Gunward days anyway. Okay, so that's all for now, guys. Thanks very much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and share and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and push the notification bell so that you'll be updated with any happenings in my channel. All right, so that's all for now, guys. Bye. We got this.